Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Stream of Coffeeness.
I'm the writer.
I'm the musician.
And welcome.
Welcome. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Grab some coffee. Settle in. And as we continue to talk about art or, everything and nothing, something in between, I think that something inevitably becomes art for us, like natural for us to talk about art.
Yeah, that's our jam. We love it.
For today, I wonder, is it humans that create art, or is it just nature that creates art? We're a part of artistic creation itself. Like, in nature, is there just art that happens and we then are inspired to be a part of that natural process of creating art? That's why we're driven to create this art, because of, say, the beauty of a sunset or a spider's web or waterfalls or things that are beautiful in nature. Is nature creating art and we're then inspired by that to create our own art? Or
is it that
is it just a human? Yeah.
every living, breathing person or nature, animal, or we all have perhaps a creative impulse inside of all of us that streams through our blood or through the wind or through the water.
I believe that it's natural. Like, it's a part of love. There's a love that you have for life, the universe, and everything that you feel the most in art and nature and spirituality and music and love. And there's these things that I sort of gravitate towards naturally. My life, I feel like those are the things that the more you give to them, the more they give back. And it seems like that's nature saying yes to you and your love and your heart. Like, that when you show up to life and give, it gives back to you. And
oh my gosh, that's so beautiful.
like, music is one
So
big
beautifully
one
said.
that I find the more you give, the more it gives back. The more you get involved with music, the more you applaud, the more you dance, the more you sort of freak out because music is so good.
Freak out.
The better the music gets, the better that the enjoyment, and it's a vibe. 10 people listening to a song, 100 people listening to a concert, thousands of people listening to music amplifies and ups the game. So then I wonder if then nature has that artistic quality within it, and that's why it's so deep inside of us and why we can feel it and why we resonate. Like we were talking about last episode, do you need inspiration to create art? And in this topic, I'm saying that I still believe that the inspiration already exists within us naturally.
If in nature, if there's an intelligence within nature that's moving
Yes.
everything into creation, into being, and if we also have an intelligence that is inside of us, deep inside of us too, and that it's got to be the same intelligence, right?
The Fibonacci sequence.
Yes.
Our
yeah.
fingers are representative of the Fibonacci sequence. If you break down the math of the digits of our hands and how we grow and how plants grow in the sequence and how things tend to go to this golden ratio. And
The golden ratio. Yes.
if it's already there and we're just a part of it, then we're responding to our natural impulse and a vibration, an artistic vibration. And you're either blissfully unaware of it or sort of blissfully aware of it. Like, there's a duality, a balance to say you could scientifically study it, or you can just get it from the streets, or like, there's either let's go to school and learn how to be an artist, or just do art, and just those two people can end up with the same amazing amazingness to their art, like Banksy versus, a classically studied master. It all doesn't matter at the eye of the beholder what effect your art has on other people. And the same with nature. You could walk by something and someone sees beauty, and another person just sees a flower or waterfall or a spider web. So is the art just in nature? I don't know. I once bought a ticket to a movie, and I had the ticket to the movie, and I was sitting outside waiting for, to go in, and I saw this spider creating a web, and it had just begun with the first few strands, and then it was making the outer, like it goes on the outside, and it was making the outer edges of the web. And I didn't go to see the movie. I sat there for over an hour watching the spider create the web, and I got my money back.
That is the best movie right there. The director was there, the producer, the main star, and the audience. My Eric.
I wonder if the spider knew that I was watching. He was making it better. He's like, oh my God, I got to do a good job. This guy's watching me.
The spider has like 6 more eyes than you, right?
6,000 more eyes.
So it definitely saw you. I mean, it's such a big topic that this one, because if it just is art, like it's happening in nature. But then, like you were talking about Andy Goldsworthy and how he takes it to a new level.
There's a movie, River and Tides, and it shows his process, and he goes and does art with leaves or ice or rocks, or just, he takes nature and puts it into artistic formation.
Oh, so it's like a symbiosis.
Yeah, like
in a way.
Who's the greater artist, the one who paints the apple, or the apple itself? Like the one who has
right.
The flower arrangement, or the one that takes the picture of the flower arrangement. It's almost like how we talk about a fractal or inception, where there's art inside of art inside of art, and maybe at the core, we ourselves are giving back artistically to that art that created us.
Oh, yes. Yes. There's definitely a birth that happens in every time we create something. And then the little birth is happening all the time, and the new leaf that comes in the spring, or
birth and rebirth.
Over and over and over. And so much every day.
Like birds.
It's like we're given birth, like just by opening our eyes to a new day.
Birds singing, after the rain or to start the day. There's this beautiful music in nature. And so then here as human beings, we've created all these instruments and create our music. Maybe initially back in the day, we were trying to emulate birds or the sound of the rippling river, or just the sounds of nature.
The wind moving tree branches and all the
there is
leaves on it. I love that sound.
An art to noise. The futurist composer, the 1920s, Luigi Russolo, was a musician, and he created a manifesto called The Art of Noise. And he was saying that all noise in the world is art, that noise is art and can be music and can be like used. And it's such an outdated concept now, because all of our music uses any sounds, anything. I mean, everything is valid. Sampling it's everything. All noise and all forms of sound that could be possible get put into our music these days. But back then it was just violins and guitars and drums and certain instruments like that those were musical instruments, and everything else was just noise. And he sort of broke the barrier and said, no, there's more to it. There's an art of noise, art of music, and that's the band. Art of Noise is giving thanks to Luigi Russolo for saying that we could use any noise we wanted in our music. So there again, is it that we are the only ones that create music, or is there perfect music out there in nature with the birds and wind and rivers and
Oh, definitely. We hear it when we're, at the creek or waterfall.
some hear it?
We hear it like, a car honking.
Yeah, or the gears turning. Or
Yeah. Like I remember you one time telling me that when you're cooking, sometimes when you're listening to music, you'll chop your vegetables like to the sound, the beat of the whatever you're listening
like stomp.
to. Yeah. And you'll get into it and you'll make music with the knife as you cut.
Or even something silly like a fart. But then
It's so musical.
Weird Al Yankovic has put those in his song. He had a guy that used to do percussion for him that would make fart noises with his hands, and that was the beat. So the fart of noise.
Maybe a lot of the art that we create in our days and our nights, aside the art that happens in nature, maybe part of it happens so we can just become in tune with it, like in tune with this frequency.
I feel that.
I think it really helps. I know it helps me, like personally, that I'll feel a bit lost or something in myself, and then I'll create some kind of art and I'll feel a big sense of concentration and focus, and then I just feel clear in myself and connected.
Well, it's a great word you used, frequency, like vibration. People talk about vibes or feeling the vibration and getting down with things. And that's why I'm curious then about if that vibration or that frequency or that harmony just comes from nature itself. And we actually, like you said, feel like we lock into that. And when we find that within ourselves, that we're really getting to know ourselves better.
Yeah, it's so powerful. Isn't that what that is anyway? Like that kind of that vibration that we feel inside when we feel passionate or enthusiastic about something, and we tune into that.
Yeah.
And we do it or move closer towards it.
Yeah.
Whatever it be. And then what?
Do art. Make good art. If you feel anything we're saying, either go out to nature and get your inspiration, or just lay it down. You've already got it inside you. Go make music. Go make art.
At that point, even though I say, and then what? But at that point, when you're in it, it doesn't even matter that. And then what? Because you're just in it. You're in it. You're in the flow. You're in the zone. You're in the passion and passionate enthusiasm. You're in your curiosity. You're in that place of listening inside of yourself for what is next.
Sort of talking about last episode, do you need inspiration for art? And if we agree that it's a no, then someone like Austin Kleon saying, he says his first book was Steal Like an Artist, but then his other ones, Make It Work and Show Your Work. And he was just trying to say, it's something you have to do. Like, you just keep going, like do it.
Yeah.
And it'll get better. You'll feel it. You'll gain more inspiration. You'll fine tune everything from actually just getting into it. So some people would say, oh, I'm uninspired and I don't feel like doing it. And maybe that's irrelevant or unimportant. Your job wants you to be productive. So they sit you down 9 to 5, 40 hours a week and make you focus and do the work. And if you were that relentless of a boss to yourself, if you boss yourself to be like that and get down and get to it,
be an
make
art
the
boss.
art. that, yeah, you wouldn't need necessarily inspiration. It'd be great if you found inspiration, but we are already, we already have it within us. So just release it by putting the paper to the pen, putting hands on the instruments, or
Or like that beautiful Rumi quote that says, if you want to access, love, then remove all the barriers.
mm,
If you're not feeling inspired to create something, or if you're not feeling productive, then ask yourself, what
removing.
is in the way of that? Like, what do I need to let go of or surrender?
I forget if it was Hemingway or why some artists drink so much, or why some musicians take drugs, or they're removing the barriers and feeling so uninhibited. They just go forth bravely and with a, reckless abandon, like go to the most artistic adventures, because there's nothing in the way.
Damn. If it was that easy all the time, huh? Oh,
But then, yeah, you can't. That's a crutch. So you can't like lean on the alcohol or the drugs or whatever. I think you have to find it within yourself, because
yeah. I don't know who talked about it or who brought it up first, but they said in order to become a brilliant artist, you had to draw 10,000 shitty, totally shitty drawings.
and
Maybe
and
that's what we need to do to remove
and you have to
our
number
barriers.
them. You have, 1, 2, 3. You have to number each piece of art, and once you hit 10,000, it'll be good.
Exactly 10,000.
99,999 shit pieces of art and one good one.
Keep going.
It's the only thing in the way of your best art. 99,999. Or
And if you're a writer, then that's how many pages you have to write.
I'm sorry, 9,999.
9,999.
Don't let the math get in the way.
Yeah, that's
just
a
do it.
barrier.
And maybe that's a good thing to know too, that even some of the things that you adulate yourself, oh my God, this is so amazing. This is the best thing I've ever done. Maybe that ego gets in the way of creating something even better, because you go, oh, that's me peaking. Oh, that's the best I could do. And it's not even close.
We have no idea. Pretty much until we take our last breath. We have no idea. We're still always working towards our potential. Our potential is always growing. And it's so fluctuates so much, because just like we have good days and bad days as people, our art is also going to go through that too sometimes.
Yeah. And I think that's something within the topic we're talking about. Like, don't worry, look to art. Nature finds a way. You see a little blade of grass growing out of a crack in the cement. You think that you've
I love when I
covered
see that.
the forest, but the forest is like, no, we got this, and it'll just break through and find a way to create more.
Oh my gosh, I just want to bow to those little plants that come up through the sidewalk. They're just like, fuck yeah. Like, I'm here. I'm doing this.
That's that, like removing the barriers, like you said. I think that some people feel that they feel stifled by the cement, and then they get so happy when they blossom and break through and come out. Your development as a human, some of your best moments feel like they break you, like
Break you
a
open.
metamorphosis, like, yeah, cocoon, like you break out and become that butterfly. The great quote from Illusions by Richard Bach. What is the caterpillar to one, to the master is actually a butterfly? I'd have to look up the exact quote. But yeah, in most people, they would see the caterpillar, and the master sees the butterfly and breaks the mold and makes it as beautiful as it could be. And here again,
Cheers.
maybe
Cheers to
art
that.
it does that. Cheers. I gotta say, my coffee has never been hotter. I have this new Yeti mug, and
It's so wonderful.
I can't believe normally 20 minutes in, my coffee would be just dead cold. But this stuff, it feels
so
like I just poured
hot.
it. It's hot.
Yeah.
So hot.
It's so hot. Yetis are expensive, but they're worth it. I just thought of this time when I took a painting class, and our teacher took us all into the museum where the school was at and shared some of the art pieces with us. And we were just talking about them. And there was this one, it was huge, it was massive. And they were birds that were like bloody and wings ripped off. It was a really disturbing painting. And so we were all talking about it. And I don't know, it just was disturbing. And so, I mean, is that art? You know what I mean? Like, is the nature, the hard things that happen in nature, which is all the time, is that art?
In the art of life, your last piece is your death. First piece is your birth, and the last piece is your death, and everything in between is your compendium of work, the art of your life.
Yeah.
But we talked about this too. Is art destructive? Is there destruction in art? Is it all creation or is it destruction? And on some level, you do have to destroy things.
I guess it depends how it happened. Like, in my eyes, if something happened in a violent way, I wouldn't necessarily, like if a wing was ripped off of a bird in a really mean, violent way from another animal, I don't really see that as beautiful. And I definitely don't see it as artistic, like an artistic creation, just because I don't know.
Well,
But if it was done in a different way, like,
but then in our nature, is there some beauty to the love in our heart that we see the violence as abhorrent or distasteful? Is there some beauty to the mechanisms? Don't we consider the most violent people and the most, like, the worst serial killers, the ones that feel nothing when they see this violence, destruction, and when they do these acts, when they don't feel the remorse or the pain, and we consider that to be really horrible, that they're so disconnected they don't even. So the fact that you have this loving heart that sees it and knows that it's violent or disturbing, there's some beauty to the way you're created to know. The love in your heart knows. And so some people are like a mirror, some artists are a mirror reflection showing the worst parts of nature back to us, and we then take that in to see the world more clearly, and then know we would want it to be different. We would want to make change, and we're called to action. Maybe
yeah.
something there.
And I know that this might have taken a little turn, but it makes me think of when my sister, who passed recently, her husband, when he got her ashes, he put my sister's ashes along the stream of his tears on his face, and then went to the ocean and went surfing. And that is both beautiful and sad, I felt.
Yeah.
And a big connection.
I think it's not as much in our culture, maybe in New Orleans, but I think in other cultures they have more reverence or interaction or ways that they honor the dead, and that they have communication with the dead, and they have a relationship with death, things like that we don't have. I think we're
For sure. So
I think we kind of go to the wake one day, and there's a little stone that then represents that person, and it's move on with life. Where in ceremony like you had just mentioned, but the ashes, somebody can touch and feel more in touch with the passing.
Yeah.
Rituals that actually touch,
Yeah.
connect themselves to the people.
Yeah, for sure.
But then the thing we saw about mushrooms recently, Fantastic Fungi on Netflix. 'Cause it's weird how beautiful all the mushrooms are, but so many of them are growing from death and poop, and growing
That's
from these things that
right.
aren't beautiful, but
Yeah.
they grow into these beautiful things.
Yeah, that is such a good show. It's amazing. That whole show. I want to watch it again.
It was good.
I guess it was just a movie. Huh?
It's like a
Wasn't even.
documentary.
Yeah.
The art of the mushrooms, one of the parts of, we are talking about vibration and connection, is how there's these mycelium networks that are all interconnected, and they're like a neural network or like a brain network, and they're all connected. So that
Oh, it's so
nature is
amazing.
talking to itself through these networks that are almost more fascinating than the internet or our
That is definitely
constructs.
art. If we were to see that underneath
Oh wow.
the Earth's surface, oh, the beauty. It would look just like our brain. I know it would. With all the nerve tributaries and synapses and everything traveling and connecting and growing, even ones that they're still growing, just like mycelium. So beautiful.
Cheers. To
Cheers
the beauty of nature.
to the beauty of nature.
And wondering if nature creates art, not just when you give a monkey a paintbrush or there's those elephants that can paint.
Yes.
I don't think that it's proving the point by having animals create art in the way that we do. They'll take penguins and they'll walk through paint, and they'll walk on the canvas, and then they'll sell that as art. So I don't know if it's that nature creates the art the same way that we do. And I would say more that we're trying to get down with nature when we create art. What was the quote that you had?
Oh, yeah. I might grab it. It's right
It was a quote you
here.
had about nature and art.
Art is contemplation. It is the pleasure of the mind which searches into nature and which there divines the spirit of which nature herself is animated. And that was August Rodin.
Rodin.
Rodin. There's a few good ones here. Vincent van Gogh said, I have nature and art and poetry, and if that is not enough, what is enough?
Word.
Yeah.
That's like me. Love and nature and music and art and spirituality. And there's not much more. I would challenge people to find things that you give to them and they give back to you. There's not much like nature. If you give water, it would give you plants and beauty and flowers and things. And the more you feed these things, the more they give back to you. Feed your art.
Oh, here's another quote by Edvard the Munch. Nature is not only all that is visible to the eye, it also includes the inner pictures of the soul.
Like you said about seeing inside the mycelium networks or inside of our brain is a beautiful fractal, a beautiful picture. Not to condone the use of psychedelics, but one time on psychedelics, I went in a room and turned off the lights and closed my eyes, and there was no sound, and I lie there for hours, just myself, and I could see and hear inside myself, and it was this beautiful, beautiful place. The inner fractal that speaks to us. If, like we're talking about, if nature creates art, we're this myriad of cells that are growing and rebirth, death and rebirth of cells inside you, and your cells keep growing and changing every 7 years. You've cast off so much dead skin, and you've regenerated so many cells that you're a totally different person. So there's this constant beautiful creation inside of us that maybe we need to speak to the world about through our art. And you need to be able to
That's
find your center and
delicious.
find your inner peace, find your place that is so beautiful inside you that when you show it to others, it's not the disturbing picture of birds with broken wings. That teacher just really like
I was
gave
having
you
a
a
good day until that painting. I was like all inspired. Then I saw that.
Find your beautiful place inside and show it to the world.
I wonder if Edvard the Munch, he said that about his picture of his soul. So that painting called The Scream, that was his soul, like whatever he was going through
Wow.
in that moment.
It is beautiful, though.
It really is. I mean, we can all relate to it, for sure, at one point or another.
Did you want to scream right now?
Yeah.
Don't do it. Everybody turn down your radios.
Oh, the cat lifted her head. Like, is everything okay? Today, what would your painting look like, Rick, of the inside of your soul?
It would be a little lazy and sleepy.
Nice.
I got my booster vaccination yesterday, and I think it's messing with me a little.
Do you still feel it?
I can definitely feel my arm is sore,
Yeah.
but I feel a little low energy,
I feel
low key.
Yeah, low key is nice.
I feel
We've
like
been able to be low key today. That's good.
Binging some anime.
So fun. What would my painting look like today? It would look like latte potato pancakes. And it would look like snuggles and love and cats. What else would be in there? Some laundry.
A big pile of laundry.
And soon to be Greek cheese spiral with hot peppered jelly.
Sponsored by Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
Our show today was sponsored by Yeti coffee mugs, Trader Joe's cheese spiral.
Yum. Get it, everyone. Get it. It's like, it looks like art. It looks like a spiral.
It is a beautiful fractal. It's like the spider web of cheese. Art is everywhere, folks. Go seek it. Go do it. Go be it.
And then share with us what your experiences
Yay.
are.
Cheers.
Cheers. We love you.